welcome back to another episode of the One Tree Hill Rewatch here on the Filmaholic channel. And today I'm going to be talking about two episodes in Season 6, and that is 621 and 622. So to kick things off, 621 is called A Kiss to Build a Dream On, and it originally aired April 27th, 2009, was directed by Erica Danton, who only directed one episode, and written by Karen Gist, who is also a producer of One Tree Hill. So, like I said, we're in the point of the show right now in this part of the season that I'm not a huge fan of. It's kind of slow for me. There's not a lot of stuff that I care about going on, and I feel like Lucas and Peyton's stuff was kind of wasted, and let me get into that real quick. So Lucas in this episode, a lot of, and Peyton too, because really it's Chad and Hillary like did a lot of filming for this. It's just flashbacks, so like it's when I'm thinking about it, I only think about it in terms of Lucas and his flashbacks versus both of them. But it's really both of them. But you know, he took the Comet back and he's got it in the garage, and he's starting this arc of him rebuilding the Comet for Peyton. And in the Comet, he finds a ticket for The Cure. It was a concert that him and Peyton were supposed to go on. So this concert happened after they graduated, the summer after they graduated, but before she went to California with Brooke. So let me talk about that real quick. It must have been right after the season 4 finale. Like, Lucas woke up the next day, went, cut his hair, and they went on this trip, right? Before maybe the flight was postponed. It might have said that in the episode, I don't remember, but anyways, because I think in the season 4 finale they were supposed to leave the next day. Obviously they're not. I think it does say in this episode they might have pushed the flight back, but they're going on this. It's another day or two before Peyton's actually leaving to go to California with Brooke, and they go on this road trip to this Cure concert, which I don't know where the concert is supposed to be. I can't remember if it said on the ticket, but there is a continuity error in there, which, I mean, I get he could have had it that long, but Lucas says, because they end up losing the ticket, right? They go on this road trip, they go eat pie, Lucas tips the waitress more so they can do a dine and dash, and I guess make Peyton feel like this rush of adrenaline or whatever. And the episode's not bad. Like, I typically like flashbacks in One Tree Hill because I love the flashback episode in season 5 with him and Peyton, the proposal. But this one didn't really work that much for me because it's not bad, but like it didn't really work that much for me because for one, the hair didn't match up. He looked like he did now, and she was definitely like wearing a wig, or I don't know, to make her look more like she did in season 4. The color palette didn't really work for me in terms of the flashback, because you didn't film the whole episode like that in season 5, thankfully. But I don't know. It just seemed like a filler episode in general, especially for them. It's like, we don't know what to do. Let's do a flashback to them right after they graduated and do the Cure concert thing. But he says in this episode that he had those concert tickets for 6 months. Now, this episode would have taken place in June 2006, right after they graduated. So if you go back 6 months from that, we're in season 3, he's with Brooke. He's definitely not with Peyton, so I don't know why he would have gotten those tickets. Brooke wouldn't have wanted to go to the Cure concert. He still could have gotten the tickets and gotten 2 of them for an additional person. But, they were supposed to be for Peyton, so why would he have gotten tickets for him and Peyton while him and Brooke were together? Doesn't really make sense, and I don't believe that. So maybe he doesn't like the Cure himself, so continuity error. That's all that I can really break that down to. But that's what Lucas is doing in this episode, having those flashbacks, working on the comments, and Peyton, for most part, isn't doing much other than staying in the house. Nathan is offered a opportunity to go play basketball overseas, the European League. He doesn't want to do it. He talks to Haley about it. Is it a good decision for his career? Should he do it? He ends up passing and calling and telling them they should take a look at Devon, who is no longer on the Charleston Chiefs. And the episode ends insinuating that he probably took that opportunity and is playing overseas now. We also have Jamie and Skills, who go to the school dance in this episode. Jamie wanted to ask Madison. Chuck asked Madison. James Skills got enough the nerve to go to the dance. They go to the dance, and this is the episode that starts the Skills Lauren relationship. That is, who cares? But that happens in this episode, and moving forward, Nick Lachey comes in this episode, and he will appear in the next few episodes. 23 is his last episode. Also, once again, who cares? But he comes in, and he wants to perform put a song on his album that Haley wrote. It was supposed to be one of her songs, but she wrote it, and the label got confused, and now he wants to perform that song. And he ends up doing it, but like I said, it doesn't. I don't care. The final thing about this one, and it continues in the next episode, is the situation with Sam, her mom, who they set that up through the whole season of her watching her mom at that diner. Her mama finally figures out who she is and is telling her all, wants to talk to her and all this different stuff. Victoria's trying to destroy the letters, trying to pretty much save Brooke from the heartbreak that's probably going to come her way if Sam and her mom repair their relationship, which isn't the right thing to do, but it does start to show a different side to Victoria and change her a little bit so that we can believe that redeeming arc by the end of the season. And the episode ends with, they're going to let, Brooke says, you should go and get to know your mom. So then it takes us to the next episode, which is 622, Show Me How to Live, which originally aired May 4th, 2009. And this was James Lafferty's first episode as a director. He stepped in the director's chair for this one. He is a good director on the show. His next episode, I believe, is 707, which is one of my favorite episodes, probably of the whole series, but especially season 7. It's in my top 2 of that season. It's a great job, and I'm really glad they let him do that episode. But this is his first episode, coming on, doing one that was a little bit smaller, not a whole high risk of things that he could go wrong with him directing this episode. And it was written by William H. Brown. The episode starts with Brooke watching Sam and her mom in the diner. So it picks up, it's been a month though. They've gotten to know each other for a month now. And these few episodes from 619, which takes place pretty much right after 618, after that, up until 623, months pass between the episodes to increase Peyton's pregnancy along. A lot happens, and to increase Sam and her mother's relationship, because this is Sam's last episode. Spoiled. We're going to get to that. But before we get to that, back in 619, I believe, Peyton started making that box, right? And putting stuff, and it was really sad, tearjerker. She started making this stuff and put it in the box for her child if she was to die. It was stuff with her, stuff with Lucas, all that. Lucas finds that box in this episode and gets really upset because he's like, we don't need what-if situations. You're going to be okay. I don't want to do this. And she's like, Lucas, I could die. I want to be able to leave this for our child to know me. And he's really upset. He ends up talking to Nathan about it, and because Peyton also wants to get married right away. And Lucas is like, no, we're not doing any what-ifs. But by the end of the episode, of course, he changes his mind, and he loves Peyton, and he says, let's get married right away. We just got to talk to the doctor first, get it approved. But then let's go ahead and get married, whatever you want, babe. So he does that. There's also the stuff with the NBA scout who comes and watches Nathan play in this episode, but ends up, it doesn't work out. The scout ends up taking someone else instead on the team, which sucks for Nathan. It's also Peyton's baby shower in this episode, which, that made sense to having this for something to Peyton to do, but once again, I wish they had something else for her to do other than kind of just sitting around. But she has the baby shower in this episode, which is sweet. But then let's go into the Sam situation. Brooke, Victoria argue more in this episode about Sam, because Victoria and Sam have gotten a good relationship now, as well as Sam and Brooke, and ends up getting to the point where Victoria's tells Brooke, I think you should let her go stay with her mom. And Brooke gets really defensive and, says, hey, I'm going to adopt Sam. I've been thinking about this for a while. I want to officially adopt her. And Victoria, is like, I don't think that's a good idea. I've talked to her, and it just turns into a fight. Then Sam comes in, and Brooke tells Sam that she wants to adopt her. And Sam seems to be okay she doesn't. It doesn't seem like she hates the idea of Brooke adopting her, but she's like, I can still see my real mom, right? Which then leads into the conversation that happens after that with Brooke saying, I think you should go stay with your real mom. And she does, and that's Sam's last episode of the series, which I have a couple problems with that, honestly. Like, once again, there's been months that passed in between each episode, so she spent more time with her mom. Sam is 15, 16 maybe by this point, so she has a couple more years of high school left that she could stay with her mom, be in Tree Hill, because her mom is in Tree Hill, which I think is another thing that's weird. I don't talk about that. But she has a little bit left that she could stay with her mom before college or whatever and get to know her and have that good relationship. Personally, I mean, I can't put myself in those shoes of what she would feel like. But to me, like, yeah, get to know her, spend time with her. But I don't know how much I believe of her just being like, hey, I'm going to go and live with her after I've been living with Brooke much longer and have this great relationship with her in this house at the beach. I mean, not that that's like this material things, I guess, but you're at the beach, you know, you have this nice house, you're with this great environment, and you're just going to give that up to go live with someone who gave you up. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing that she did that, but she did that, you know? So like again, once again, I can't put myself in those shoes, so I don't know. But what really bothers me is we don't see Sam again, and I don't know how much of her going and having her own show awkward. I don't know when that show started. I don't know how much that interfered, but it really bugs me that we don't see her again because she does still live in Tree Hill for at least 2 more years, probably her junior and senior year. I would assume she's probably maybe a sophomore by the time this show. I would say she was probably a freshman, and when we first got to see her at the beginning of season 6, and she would probably be a sophomore by now. So we do skip 14 months with 7, so I feel like, and 7 takes place majority in the summer until we get to season 8. So I think she should have came back 100% in season 8 for Brooke's wedding. She should have been a senior in high school, about to graduate. She comes back for Brooke's wedding, or she should have came back for 2 episodes at least in season 8. 2 episodes at least. Brooke's shower and Brooke's wedding. I would have even had her maybe 3 episodes, but at least 2. Those 2. And that way you touch on not just her coming back and being supportive of Brooke's wedding, but also Brooke giving her advice and talking to her about college and high school being over and moving on in the future. And just really us getting to revisit with Sam. That should have happened, and it didn't. And we get season 8 and all that happens in that season, which I'll talk about when we get there. But that's 622. Next episode I'll be talking about is 623, the wedding episode. All right, guys, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys next time.